Hey there, welcome back to Scrapping the Stash with Gail. And today we are going to combine two of my favorite things, a page kit and Alphabet Roulette. Now, if you missed the first video in the series, I took a paper pad and I tore it apart. And then I went ahead and found some starter pages in that paper pad. And then we put together some page kits. So now, tonight, it's time to use one of those. Now, Alphabet Roulette will help me pick some things out of my stash and probably force me to use some things I've been avoiding. So let's see what we come up with. Let's get started.
All right, are you ready to play Alphabet Roulette? I've got my letters in here. I'm going to shake them up really good. And then we're going to pick 3 letters out. Let's see what we've got. Let's put one back. There's an N, a V, and a K. That'll be interesting. Let's see what we have to choose from.
So here is the kit I built from that paper pad from Monday. And I've got some patterned papers here, and I have a coordinating cardstock, kind of like a watercolor here. I did go ahead and pull out of the paper pad these cut aparts. They're 4x6 cut aparts, and then also a strip and this 2 strip sheets. So we'll see if either one of those end up playing a part. I did tell you that this kit would make it back, didn't I? Now, the beauty of building your own kit from a pad is that everything works together. You just need to spice it up with some stash items. And that's where the Alphabet Roulette comes in. Alphabet Roulette's very simple. You just put your alphabet letters in a jar or something and pull 3 of them out randomly. And then you make a list with your alphabet as to what stash items you have. And you have to pick stash items from those coordinating letters. Now, it's a fun way to challenge myself and use supplies I might otherwise forget about. Plus, you never know what the letters will force you to use. So the first letter was K. And for my alphabet roulette, that includes craft paper and kits. So my first alphabet roulette, the gods are smiling down on me because I will definitely wanted to use a kit. And so that's what K stands for. The other thing, supply that I have associated with K is craft paper. So I have 1 sheet of craft paper. I can't believe it. All the stash that I have 1 sheet of craft paper. However, I did go ahead and add it because I think it'll be a nice staple with this turquoise green. So let's move on to V. Letter V stands for vellum or vintage paper. So I went ahead and pulled all the vellum that I own just so that it would be available for me to choose from. Now, I don't think I'll be using this floral, although it wouldn't look bad with the craft and the turquoise paper, but it would be really kind of, I don't know, maybe not too bad on that paper, but we'll see. But I doubt it'll be this piece of vellum. But I also have this piece of vellum. This actually might work really nice with the yellows in this paper. So this is more than likely what I'll use. I also have this background. I don't know that that's pertaining to this, so that's probably going to be a no. I do have some plain white vellum, which would look nice. I probably won't gravitate towards that one either, but I am going to put it in the maybe pile. Then I have some hearts, which, could, maybe. There's some shiny vellum. I don't want to use that because I'm saving that. I use that for like aquarium and things like that to make fish, which I know sounds crazy, but there's a bunch of sheets of that. And then there's also this kind of old time looking wallpaper that I actually put up against on top of the craft and actually doesn't look too bad, especially with the turquoise. So I'm going to put that in the maybe pile as well. So let's get rid of the rest of this vellum. So we've added craft paper. We've added some pieces of vellum. And then last but not least, we have N. And in my stash, Alphabet Roulette, N has numbers, notebook edge, and needlework, which was the easy way for me to add my sewing into the mix. I did pull out my notebook punch. I think this is, yeah, it's EK Success. And this is really nice for journal boxes. So I'll probably be using that. And then I dug deep in my stash to find some numbers, just pulled out some creative memories. All of these are very old. In fact, these are basic gray, and basic gray has been out for a long, long time. These are, yep, see, Creative Memories, 2010. So dusting off these alpha stickers here. So we've got some numbers to add into that. So there's what I'm going to use for my kit. So let's move on to the layout process.
I don't know about you, but a lot of times for me it's difficult to select papers. So having a page kit like this that already has a jump start for me really helps slim down the time that I use auditioning papers and trying to figure out what pattern goes where. And I'm hoping that watching this process with the kit helps you with that.
So as far as the layout goes, I'm thinking pretty much having this grid style layout. I do like using all different sizes because what that does is it creates nooks and crannies for my embellishing and journaling. One thing that I've learned, because I used to just put my pictures down without having anything to ground them, and they kind of look like they're floating in the air. Now, of course, that didn't bother me until it was pointed out. So now, them sitting here in the middle of the layout like this without a layer down here really bothers me. I definitely want this paper in it because this was my starter paper. It inspired everything, so I really want to use this. I just feel like this is making it too dark. So this is what I was wondering, if maybe I could bring this vellum in, tone down this green and not make it so harsh. What I would do is I would cut it here so more of this paper shows. Now, the other thing that I could do too is bring in this craft piece of paper and just get rid of the turquoise altogether. Now, to me, that looks really plain. I don't really like that either. Other thing we can do is just use some plain vellum. This one actually is torn. You could lay it over this, a layer for my title. I don't like this here, so I'd have to probably do a corner embellishment coming down from there. I always have these hearts too. Could maybe fussy cut out a couple hearts and use them as embellishments, maybe. I actually could cut out some of these flowers too and use those as embellishments. I kind of like that idea. And here are these longer pieces too. I could jet out on this side to kind of tie this piece over here. So I will say that I love how the kit gives you a jumping off point and then just having fun with your stash items and just kind of being creative and making it work. That's the process that I absolutely love about scrapbooking and what keeps bringing me back all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit off camera, and then we'll come back and you'll see the finished layout.
So I wanted to show you that I do use my quote ugly duckling papers flipped over to form bases when I do my layouts. A lot of the times I do wallpaper using different pattern papers, so I need something as a base to attach them to. So keeping those papers that I don't usually like very well, I will actually flip them over and use them to attach my papers to. Now, I went ahead and made the decision to take that starter paper and put it on both sides of the layout.
And then I decided the graphic would be a little bit nicer underneath the vellum rather than that solid color of green, which I just was really thinking was just too dull and too dark. Now, some of you may think, gosh, pattern on pattern, that's a lot. Yep, that's my style. And then I'm bringing in these awesome flower strips. I just love the colors in them. Um, but I'm going to bring in the turquoise as well, just as a nice base color. And then there's my journal box that I created with the notebook punch and just a piece of craft paper. I inked around it and then used a close to my heart retired stamp to make the lines on that journal. I decided to use craft paper on the other side of the layout as well and took those awesome gold foiled pieces from that cut apart and butted them up together, and that's where my title's going to go. Now, I kind of started getting carried away here a little bit and thought maybe I could put this strip paper up at the top as well, but you'll see in the final layout that it doesn't make the cut. So decided that a skew was not working with all the directions of the pattern paper. So I took these awesome floral pieces from the cut aparts and just decided to make them more linear. I made sure that the colors of the flower part were put on either side opposite of each other on the either side of the layouts so that there weren't any matching colors right next to each other. But I'm really liking the way that this was turning out. Even though there's a lot of pattern, that's just my style. So then I decided to use these this old set of alphabets that I didn't even have in the kit because I couldn't figure out what alphabets to use. And watch for my numbers on the final layout. And here's the final layout. Alphabet Roulette gave us K for the kit, and I also used craft paper for my title and my journal box. Alphabet Roulette gave us N, which I used numbers and a notebook edge punch. It also gave us the letter V, which I chose to use vellum, which you can see kind of dying down or toning down this pattern paper here in the middle. And the rest is history. So I hope you enjoyed this video watching us tear down a paper pad on Monday and using a kit from that paper pad on Friday. If you didn't see Monday's video, I've got the link down below. Go ahead and watch that and you can see how we put these background papers in this kit together. And hopefully, if you liked this, you'll give me a thumbs up. Again, it's right down here. Just take a second and just boop that thumb up. And then also, if you want to see more of my content, go ahead and hit subscribe. Thank you for visiting Scrapping the Stash with Gail. Bye-bye.